Your player switching is killing your defense. It's that sinking feeling you get when you load into games knowing you would concede first time through balls no matter what you do. Your switches won't be consistent, and I am here to fix that. Player switching is the hardest thing to do in this game, and the first step is the mechanics, and I am not going to lie, it's the easiest one. The next steps are where it gets really tough. We have two player switching techniques, the L1 LB close player switching and the right stick switching. If I sit here and tell you don't L1 switch, always use right stick switching, then I am wrong, because both of these are equally important. Understand the difference. You are controlling 10 players in defense and you have to mark 10 attacking. You simply cannot do that by running around with one single player. So how do we fix that? I want you to load into a game of kickoff. Connect two controllers, and if you don't have two controllers, set the difficulty to legendary and keep giving possession to the AI. This is the mechanical part. Choose a player to switch to in your head. For example, I want to switch towards Kylian Mbappe, and I am going to practice my right stick switching until and unless I can get Kylian Mbappe in maximum 2 switches. As you can see, I am able to do that very perfectly. Now let's say I want to switch towards Rudiger. I can do it. Right? I want to switch to Vinicius Jr. I can do it. I can do it very fast. And this is how I practiced it. Now let's imagine I want to switch to the closest player. As you can see, there is this little icon on top of Valverde. I will click L1 and I would get Valverde, and then I can switch towards Vinicius. Let's say I want to switch towards Rodrigo. I would click L1 on Valverde and then flick my right stick down 2 times and I would get Rodrigo. Now this is muscle memory. The important thing here is not to go through motions. Just going through motions isn't enough. You have to put yourself in a situation mentally as if it's a real game. And just going through motions won't be enough, like I said. Think about your switches. Combine L1 switching with right stick switching as if you are in an in-game situation. You need to feel the same kind of urgency and be as efficient with your right stick switching as you can be. This is a training drill. Follow it every day and you will see results. I know you might be wondering about my player switching settings. I use player reference, player relative. Right stick switching is classic. Sensitivity is 3. If that is slow for you, you can use 4. Next player switching I use closest to ball, as I believe it is the most consistent way of L1 switching in this game. The second step and the hardest thing to do is knowing when to right stick switch and who do you right stick switch towards in game, right guys? Remember, I said L1 switching for close players, right? If you want to switch to someone who is closer to the ball, we would use L1, and we have this little icon above the player's head which would tell us which player would we get if we click L1. Now imagine if someone is making a run in behind the defense, you have to switch quickly. In that situation, like I will do over here with Theo Hernandez, I would use the right stick and switch to the guy who is closest to the player who is making a run, and then try to manually mark the run by running back with them, right? This is how you defend through balls. Now in this example, I switched to Van Dijk using right stick. If I click L1, I would get Douglas Luiz, and that's not the player I want to get. I want to get Fernando Hierro, as I am overstepping with Van Dijk. Because I am overstepping with Van Dijk, I am giving space to the opponent purposely. That means he will have the space for the through ball, and I want him to play that through ball, as I am doing a move that is called baiting the opponent, and I want to switch to Fernando Hierro. I cannot do that by L1. If I use L1, I would be too late. So what do guys? I flick the right stick backwards towards Hierro and I end up switching towards him. And this is how it looks like. Player switching mechanically is easy. It's just that you have to get better at reading the game, right? In this example, I don't need to right stick switch. If I want to switch to Van Dijk, I would just click L1, right? So this is all about reading the situation. How do you defend the first time through balls? You have to look at the radar, make it a habit of glancing at the radar, and you will see a player running in behind. You have to switch before they play the pass. That is the timing. You see, my opponent here switches after I have played the pass. They need to switch before I play that pass. That is how you are able to defend the through balls, especially the first time through balls. Now, how do you defend finesse shots? Because moving the goalkeeper isn't enough. You would always click L1 and switch to the player who is closest to the ball and try to manually tackle the player who is about to take the finesse shot. Defending is all about managing your players. That is the third step. And how do you manage your players? By using player switching. We want to keep our players in perfect positions. This is the complaint I get from most of you. Our players leave their position. Well, if they leave their position, you have to manually switch towards them and then put them back in their position. And once they are in their position, you would switch to another player and do the same thing like you are seeing me do over here. I see my center back is out. I select him. I try to manually apply pressure. And if I lost my center back, I would have taken the other center back in that situation. It is all about managing your players. So you have to get good at understanding the game and developing situational awareness, which will only come if you practice the game consistently with a purpose. The next few games you play, I want you to have the purpose of practicing your right stick and L1 switching. Do it for 7 days and your switching will improve. Now, if this video helped you out, smash that like button.